Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Thursday workout. Got a fun one for you today. It's called License to Carry, and we are going to do, it's either going to be 4 rounds or 25 minutes, whatever comes first, but a lot of grip, a lot of core, and some single leg stuff today. So let's begin 2 rounds, 15 calories, your choice, row, bike, or ski. Then we're going to get a little knee rehab in. So this is some of our single leg stuff. A front foot elevated split squat. Drive yourself forward and down. We're stretching out the ankle, the calf, the Achilles, the foot, pushing the knee as far forward of the toes as we can, and then pushing back up out of it. So part of the adaptation here is engaging the quad when it is at its fully stretched length. And that is a huge deal here of I'm not stopping midway, I'm also not pushing out of it with my hand and waiting for my quad to engage later. I'm trying to engage this quad muscle right here from the very bottom or most stretched position, okay? 8 reps on each side of that. Next, I want you to get 3 reps on each side of a lateral crab roll. So we're gonna be in the crab position, and we're gonna go reach across, hands and feet, and then rotate back to the crab position. So that'll be one direction, and then I'm gonna go the opposite direction. That's 1 rep. So over and back is 2 reps. Keep your butt off the ground the whole time. So only the feet and the hands can touch the ground when I do it, okay? Next, we'll get a pair of rings, and we're just doing some scap rows from the rings. So this is the same thing as our scap pull-up, it's just in a horizontal direction. So try to have your hands pointed straight away from your body. You probably can't see that very much from that far back, but I am rowing my shoulder blades back and together when I do that. Last one is a single arm plate halo. This is a little shoulder warm up exercise. So I've got the plate, my fingers through the hole in the middle of the plate, and we're gonna go up in front of your face, tightly around the back of your head until your elbow is pointed straight up. Extend the arm and then swing out and down. So it should form a nice repetitive pattern on one arm, and then you can do both arms at the same time if you want to, right? But just don't do them at the same, or you have to offset them. So it's this arm, this arm, this arm, like that. So the other one's got to follow it, right? It's a little bit trickier. It'll make you feel like pat your head and rub your stomach, right? That's kind of what that's like if you do both at the same time, right? Okay, now let's go into the workout. It is 25 minutes, an AMRAP or 4 rounds, whatever comes first. We're gonna do a longer farmer's carry, so 2 heavy objects in your hands, walking out the back door with good posture. So chin tucked, ears over the top of your shoulder, good posture the whole time. Set it down if you need to rest. I would anticipate for a 200-meter farmer carry, either 1 or 2 breaks is appropriate for the amount of weight that we're carrying today. Next is gonna be pistols, right? So a pistol squat is a single leg squat. So I have 1 foot off the ground the whole time. I'll go all the way down below parallel and then drive back up with my single leg. The accommodation or scaling for this, the first one would be to use a bench. So I'm just sitting down with 1 leg to a bench or a box and then standing back up. If you can possibly do that to at parallel or lower, that would be great. Another one that's a little bit harder is using a ring, right? So a ring doesn't have as much stability, so you have to create that stability on your own, right? You can go down and then up, and I kind of pulled on it a little bit to help myself and make it a little easier. So whatever scaling you do, this should be the same pace that you would do air squats at. It's just the added balance and added resistance, right? So don't make it too crazy heavy so where you can do 1 rep and then you like fall over, or do 1 rep and then you can't do another one for a few seconds. It should be 16 reps in like a minute-ish, okay? It should not be too terrible hard, right? So make sure you apply the appropriate scaling to that one. Next one is strict pull-ups, right? So shoulder width grip, elbows straight at the bottom, no kip, chin over the bar, and then back to elbows straight. If you do that with a band, jumping pull-up is fine, but not a kipping pull-up. I want these to be relatively challenging to the level where like you probably can't do 8 in a row. Maybe you can do 8 in a row in your first round, but then after the first round, maybe you got to break it up into like 5 and 3 or 4 and 4 or something like that, okay? Last one is get your heavy object again, and we're gonna do goblet lunges for a total of 16 reps. You can be walking lunges, so stepping forward, or you can step backwards. You can stay in place, whatever you want to do, but goblet lunges. So I'm holding the kettlebell in 2 hands up by my chest, right? And that is our workout for today, the main conditioning effort. Afterwards, there's some grip and core, it's not a cash out, it's a extra credit for today, okay? So somewhere in the 2 to 4 set range, your choice on how much it is. We're gonna start off with some drop catches. So drop catch has, there's some dynamic element to this. There is actually dropping the weight and then catching it again before it hits the ground. So just make sure, use some chalk, right, to help this out, and be aware of what will happen if you are unable to grasp the weight after you drop it, right? So a kettlebell, if you use a drop catch on a kettlebell, it could land on the corner and jump and hit your shin. Same thing with a plate, they're really bouncy, right? If you drop it from really high up and it's at an angle, it can immediately smash your shin before you have a chance to get out of the way. So what I say to this is just make sure the drop and the catch happen very close to the ground. So I only have like 2 or 3 inches above, below the plate, right? I'm just throwing and catching with the opposite hand. And again, I forgot to chalk up, so my thumbs are a little slippery here, but you get the idea. A little bit of chalk goes a long way on those ones. And then the kettlebell can be the exact same way. So drop and catch, drop and catch, right? So you gotta be quick. It's a little bit of finesse, a little bit of grip speed, and then it's that reactive component of strength where you're going from completely unloaded to a relatively challenging grip, right? That's the goal that we're going for today. Next one is a 1 minute monkey hang with a coach's challenge of some grip switches, okay? Or alternating grip releases. So I'll get in my monkey hang position, watch the clock 1 minute, and if you feel like you can do it, release one hand and then release the other hand, and just go back and forth like that for a minute, okay? The last one is a core set. So have your ab mat nearby, but not underneath you. And then we're gonna start off with a 20-second hollow hold. So we're gonna hold this isometric hollow position where we're trying to peel our body away from the ground. So think hips up, shoulder blades up, reach your hands over your head, and then immediately go right into V sit-ups for 15 reps, which is a more challenging ab movement. After the V sit-ups are done, slide that ab mat underneath you and get 20 more reps of an ab mat sit-up, okay? So your abs should be nice and toasty when you finish that little core set, okay? All right, and that's it for today. Again, extra credit is extra. Don't feel like you have to do it, it's an option, but it's really good grip work and core work, okay? Have a great one, I'll see you on Friday.